So the target was the Erika. We listen the ocean, we try, we change, we adapt, we never give up. You feel you are in a blue desert, lost in the blue desert. Okay, where to start? Let's speak about offshore. The offshore fishing is basically a practice that many anglers can do because it requires a lot of resources. What I mean by this is if you want to go offshore, you need firstly safety. So a big boat, powerful boat that makes you feel safe and be in safety when you are very far from the coast. Even if the sea starts to be rough, you need a good and reliable equipment and many different type of rods, reels, because you need to be able to face every fishing situation. Because when you go offshore, you can go for tuna and then fall on sea bass or start to fish at more than 100 meters deep to catch grouper or pollock. And what you need at the end, it's also a strong fishing knowledge and sea experience. Because offshore fishing is not something unattainable, but could be very dangerous. Everything can change in a minute, you know. Brilliant, awesome moment can happen like this in 30 seconds. But also, the worst moment of your life can happen in 15-30 minutes.
Mon premier bateau à moi est arrivé à l'âge de 20-21 ans. Et à partir du moment où j'ai commencé à pêcher, on commence à chercher des zones qui sont, je sais pas moi, dans les 4000 au départ, 3-4000, on cherche des cailloux, on va pêcher des cailloux, des choses comme ça. Et au fur et à mesure du temps, quand on regarde l'ouest, on a envie d'aller voir un peu plus loin à chaque fois.
Offshore fishing very far, but not for everyone, because you have to be prepared.
La liberté, justement. Cet esprit de liberté, cet esprit d'aventure aussi, parce qu'on n'a plus trop d'aventure sur Terre. On est restreint pour tout et n'importe quoi sur Terre. Et ouais, quand on commence à arriver après le petit large, l'esprit de liberté est quand même bien plus là, bien plus présent. Les émotions humaines sont plus sincères, plus concentrées aussi dans le bateau. Tout est plus vrai. Voilà.
Okay. So the target was the Erika. The Erika is an old wreck, like behind me. It was an oil tank that sank in 2000, and that ship was more than 120 meters long, and when it sank, it spilled more than 35,000 tons of fuel, and it has been a very big ecological disaster. I think we have something to learn here also from Mother Nature, you know. Nature changed this ecological disaster in a remote artificial reef where there is tons of life, tons of fish.
C'est laquelle, ça, c'est la classe ?
So at the beginning it was pretty calm and cruising was really good. And as much we went farthest and farthest, as worst the sea was, you know. After cruising 40 miles, the weather was still good, but you are offshore, so wind is multiplied, the swell is multiplied also. So we had, to be honest, rough sea to cruise. So cruising was start to be very difficult, and we stopped the boat at this moment and we spoke with Jan to say, okay, what can we do? Because even if we reach the Erika, fishing on it will be impossible due to the tidal, the wind, you know, the cruising, and if you want to drop your bait, there is too much current. It goes too quickly to make you fish efficiently. And also, considering that it was a bit tricky in terms of safety. So we listened the ocean, you know, and we tried to start trolling because we were 40 miles offshore, and at this moment you can find some albacore tuna, and we start trolling, but in a desert, because most of the time when you are targeting this species, you can see something. You see them jumping out of the water, you see some birds, and one small thing can mean that there are albacore tuna under. So we try, but the surface was totally destroyed and it was very difficult to see something. So we made trolling, but without any results. And then we decided to go on specific spots, deep, try to catch big pollock. So we have made spots after spots. We spend the day, we caught only one sizable fish, but not the size originally targeted, and we went back to the harbor.
The biggest impression to me from these days of offshore fishing was coming back again to the fact that at some point when you're 3 hours out with the crew and you look around you, there's nobody around you, no boats, no shoreline. At first it was quite intimidating, but like I said, it gives a sense of freedom, which is something you cannot find anywhere else. So that is really eye-opening to me.
C'est vraiment particulier. Je pense qu'il faut vraiment aller en mer pour savoir ce que c'est quand même. C'est vraiment très particulier et c'est pour ça que tous les pêcheurs professionnels généralement ne changent pas de métier, à moins d'avoir un gros problème de santé. Ils ne peuvent plus s'en passer. Ils peuvent plus, même s'ils ont beaucoup de mal. C'est tellement la liberté d'être là-bas que ils ne peuvent plus s'en passer, quoi. Donc il y a bien une raison.
To me, it's more a sort of a feeling. You feel you are offshore because everything changed, you know? The water color is totally different. It's a deep, intense blue. If you look around you at 360 degrees, you don't see nothing. No boat, no coast, and you feel you are in a blue desert, lost in a blue desert. The second day, weather provision were almost the same. It was clear that in the morning, absolutely no wind, but wind planned to go up in the afternoon. So it was not again reasonable to go that far. So we decided to go offshore, but maybe closer than the previous day, and to target other different pollack spots, because with no wind, maybe we suppose that it could be easier to fish more efficiently and maybe catch ones, but no success once again. It's almost the pollack story, you know. Someday it's absolutely mental. There is fish everywhere. They are eating everything, and the day after, it's a no fish land. And of course, that day was no fish land, speaking about pollack. So, no pollack, and no Erica too. So at this moment, to be honest, it was a bit difficult in our mind to accept that after spending so much energy and wishes in planning that trip, make sure everything would be fully ready, and finally won't be able to go there, won't be able to catch any pollack except the one we have done the day before. Yeah, it was very difficult. Where we were offshore, we knew that we were far enough to probably see big pelagic fish, big bluefin tuna. So we caught some live baits and we put live baits in the water, waiting for a final bite. But we were a bit disappointed because the wind started to grow. It was a cloudy weather, and in my mind I was saying, okay, it's done. This shooting is dead, you know. And finally, the sun came back, the wind decreased, and we heard that magic sound. After a quick fight, I would say it was 20-25 minutes, because Jan knows how to fight that kind of fish and pull on it very hardly. We lift that ocean beauty, you know. And at this moment, I think it was an emotional explosion. And if I have to retain something, is we try, but the ocean said no. So we respect the ocean decision. We change, we adapt, we never give up, and finally we have been rewarded by this insane fish, this 1.90 meter bluefin tuna. Yeah, one of king of the ocean, you know, and it was the success of the end of this trip. What a beautiful, beautiful moment after one really hard day of fishing with no fish, one really hard additional morning without fish, and finally we take that beauty, probably the most iconic pelagic fish we are here. So thanks a lot to our captain and to Bartian for joining, and hope you enjoyed this video and this film. Go offshore and let the battle begin. So I think this trip is the the part one. And as offshore fishing, we are not going to give up. And maybe one day we will be able to go back on the Erika to make a part two.